What's up, everyone? How are you all? It has been a minute. Um, I have not been on Instagram. I haven't been on social media in quite some time. And in true transparency, I have just needed some time to encourage myself. I've been on a healing journey and repairing a few things in my life, some setbacks, prepare you for setups. And so sometimes the encourager needs some encouragement. Luckily, I have a brilliant family and a great host of friends who lift me up and have me ready to rock and roll. I see y'all joining in here. I'm having to turn on, wait a minute, hold up. I'm gonna have to keep my fan going. It is blazing hot down here in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, Patrick. All right, let's see. William Glenn Bean. What's up, William? Bree is in here. Cascade, the artist. What's up, everyone? What's up, cuz? All right. So today, now that I've done the housekeeping at the Cathedral of Hope from the emissary of encouragement. Today, I figured, well, and happy pride. This whole conversation is about taking pride in our skin. Your skin is the largest organ on your body. So, if you all don't know, make sure you all get you some good skin protector out there in the sun. When I'm working on these photo shoots with the swimwear, I'm like, models, please make sure you have your sunscreen on. What's up, Striker Pose? I miss you too. I got people joining in. I'm glad we got it out here early enough so people could know. Javon, what's going on, girl? How are you? So, enough about my housekeeping. Like I said, I'm going to bring my esteemed guests. Doctors and things like that. Credentials. Experts, to keep you all beautiful. Dr. Corrine Erikson is a native Georgian. She's a Georgia peach, like me. A board-certified dermatologist and owner of Georgia Skin Specialist. I didn't say it like Tyler Perry, Georgia. Skin Specialist. She completed the Integrative Dermatology Fellowship in February, which designates her as one of the only dermatologists in Georgia who works with patients proactively on overall health and wellness relevant to their skin and hair issues. Honey, I don't know what she's gonna do about this dome here. Can you bring this hair back? My edges are going. They coming out. And anyway, like a Diana Ross song, I'm coming out. She has a special interest in hormone-related skin conditions, including hormonal acne, hair loss, rosacea, and skin rejuvenation. So, ladies and gentlemen, give her a virtual round of applause. We're going to bring Dr. Corrine up. Let me see if I know how to do this. Kirby, where are you? Let's see here. Let me see. All right. So it's just a little styrofoam cup that I use when I'm driving around the city to keep my water cool. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Great to see you, Patrick.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. My volume, can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So I read the short bio from the fabulous Meg Reggie. But do tell the people, Dr. Erikson, do tell them who you are.
Well, I'm, a girl from Macon, Georgia,
Okay.
as you know, and I'm a board certified dermatologist who moved to the big city of Atlanta, and about 3 years ago took over a fantastic medical dermatology practice called
Okay.
Georgia Skin Specialist. It's in the
Okay.
heart of Buckhead, right across from Piedmont Hospital and the Shepherd Center. And a couple years ago, also launched our aesthetics side of the practice called
Okay.
Clear Aesthetics MD. So we have a lot going on, from integrative dermatology and talking about nutrition and hormones and skin health to all things aesthetic, cosmetic, and just checking your skin out and making sure that you're keeping it healthy and cancer free.
Well, we're going to jump right on in because, I got some hard questions for you. Now, I know you're talking about hair loss. What can you do for this bald head? I mean, my edges are gone. But, I'm okay with the Teddy Savalas look because I've been doing it now since graduate school. So it just sort of goes with my brand now. But, what causes hair loss and what can people do if they really want it back?
Well, first of all, the only thing I would do with you is slap a hat on that out in the sun, and then maybe
Okay,
massage a little sunscreen on there, Patrick, just to
I keep my
keep it
SPF on
protected.
there. I keep the 15 on my head. I wear that
15.
every day.
Oh no, we got some work to do, honey. 15's not high enough.
That's not high enough.
That's
How
not
high do
high
I need to
enough.
go?
I want 30 or higher.
Okay, all right. No problem. No problem.
I'm
Maybe
so
that's the
glad I'm
purpose of
here.
working. Maybe that's the purpose
You're,
of working with somebody like you. I mean, you get you what you don't know, you don't know, and
that's
that's the whole
right.
purpose of us jumping on here today. With pride and our allies and people that love us, we want to make sure that everyone's protected from this sun.
I
Everyone is
know, and
protected.
it's a hot one out there. It's
It
a
is,
heat
and
wave. So,
especially here in South Florida, especially here in South Florida,
whew.
and on the beach, you're just sitting ducks for that sunshine.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
melting. You're melting. Well, for those listening who might be worried about hair loss or starting to experience it, what causes hair loss is a question you asked. And there's a lot of different things. And for most people, it's usually not just one thing. I mean, definitely a crappy diet contributes to hair issues. If you don't
Okay.
have high enough levels of vitamin D, which I'm a dermatologist, I want my vitamin D from a supplement, not
Okay.
through sun exposure.
Okay.
If we don't have enough iron in our diet, so all of our fabulous vegans running around out there may not be getting enough iron, and that can cause hair loss. And then there's
Okay.
hormone issues that contribute to hair loss that we need to balance. And I mean, there's a whole host of things, and then just things we've done with chemicals and heat to the hair over time. So it's really important to take a deep dive with your
Okay.
dermatologist and figuring it out, because it's not one thing and it's not one size fits all with fixing it.
Right. Well, I know my vitamin D levels are low, which sometimes you just don't know that until you have that battery of the annual physicals and things like that. But one of my besties, Keisha Noel, is always on my back about that iron. So I'm like, yesterday I went out and I just got me a whole bunch of vegetables from the farmer's market, and Lord knows I cannot cook. So I'm just learning as I go, but I'm making an investment to do more things that to give me iron. Not that I care about my hair growing back, because like I said, it just goes in my look and my aesthetic now. And to be honest, I'm too lazy to go to the barbershop, and I don't really want to spend that money. So I mean, I have hair, but it's easy to maintain. It's low maintenance. It's very low maintenance.
It's very
No, no,
chic.
yeah, no
Listen,
stress.
my husband went mostly bald in his 20s, so I
Okay.
love it. More,
Yeah,
more
Meg
skin,
Ray
more
just
skin to
chiming in
love.
here. She says baldies are fire. Hello, Eric Green. Eric Green joined in. He's a baldy too. Eric is a baldy. We bringing baldy sexy.
I
So
love it.
I noticed you were from Macon, and I told you I was going to tell you the reason why I have a special love affair with Macon. I used to do a lot of work with Otis Redding's foundation and his wife Zelma Redding. So
Yes.
that's what would bring me down to Macon, Georgia. That
Oh,
would,
that is so cool. Yeah.
yeah. So I have some good family down there in Macon, Georgia that I worked with years ago. We did they featured Zelma and the family on Oprah. So at that time I was styling them for that appearance on Oprah, and it was so much fun because she is a pistol.
Oh,
Zelma
yeah.
is rock and roll royalty, and she has been around, she's done it, and she's just a loving woman.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the music history coming out of Macon is one of the better things coming out of Macon,
Right.
present
Besides
company
you.
included. Right,
Yeah,
right.
besides you, present company. So speaking of rock and roll, I know everyone knows I love a little cocktail. So I want to ask you this, following Pride and all these types of things, what can we do to hydrate so that our skin is glowing? We want to maintain the J-Lo glow. But sometimes you have a little wine, you have a little vodka, maybe one, two, three, four, five. Um, how can you come back from that, but besides the urban remedies, Pedialyte and Gatorade, what would you suggest to
I'd
maintain a
say,
beautiful
I'd say
glow?
get I'd say get ahead of it. So hydrate in advance of indulging and make sure that you're balancing it not just with water but with some electrolyte. So rather than trying to catch up the next morning when we've all been there and we all know it's too late, once you wake up feeling
Okay.
depleted, you're gonna be hurting for a while. Get ahead of it. So hydrate as you go. Maybe mix some electrolytes in with some of your non-alcoholic beverages,
Okay.
and just take it slow. Also, avoiding high sugary, sweet adult beverages can be more
Okay.
helpful for your skin as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, what is Eric Green saying here? We want to stay fresh faced always. AJ
Always,
said yes, absolutely.
always.
And you know,
Fresh
I
face
tell people
and
this,
fresh head too, right? We don't want to
right?
get floppy.
Yes, I tell people all day long. I love like today. I'm gonna make you laugh right now. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't give you the proclamation, but I bet sure I had to brush my teeth like twice with baking soda today because I wanted to make sure that they were white on camera. And then I'm always my radiant cocoa butter. I'm always putting that on my skin because it's important to glow. It's just important to glow. You got to look your best. So, and then today, I don't normally wear cologne during the day, but I put on some Creed today just to have this conversation with you because I want to look
Yeah,
virtually. Yeah,
great. I
yeah.
like it.
Let's see.
I smell it all the way in Georgia.
Now, Eric Green says, "Can you microneedle your scalp?"
You can microneedle your scalp. That is a treatment that has been used pretty commonly to help with hair growth. And the microneedling itself can stimulate some hair follicles, but if we microneedle and then apply some growth factors, and some people are applying products called exosomes or PRP, which is just, it's like the vampire treatment where we draw our own blood or your own blood and we spin it down and we re-inject it. You can
Okay.
microneedle that or inject it straight into the scalp.
Okay, fantastic. So my cousin joined from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Rebecca Young is in the conversation. She says, "Good question, Rebecca. Bring on your remedies," because she knows she was one of my girls that's always about skin and body and looking good.
Yeah.
And AJ Bird says, "Should you condition your scalp being a baldy?"
You certainly should protect it with a moisturizer with SPF every day, and you should hydrate it just like you would any other part of your body and part of your skin. Because, Patrick, your scalp is just important for your glow as your face is. We want to keep
Right.
everything nice and fresh and hydrated looking.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's get to the hard question. Is it true black don't crack? And what does that actually mean? And who created that? Because I know we're gonna jump into that, but I want you to tell the people about the old white man that we talked about. But first of all, how do we answer this question? Where did that terminology come from? And is it just sometimes just genetics that keep people glowing?
So I don't know where the phrase black don't crack came from, but I'll tell you that black skin typically is a little oilier. And
Okay.
so black people don't get the fine lines and wrinkles as quickly as lighter skinned folks do. So
Okay.
I think like if we chat GPT'd it, I'm sure that there's a few different urban legends out there, but basically it has to do with just a slower wrinkling process. But
Okay.
wrinkles are not the only way that aging manifests. And
Okay.
and it's not the only thing we're trying to protect when it comes to our skincare. A big issue in skin of color is hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
Hyperpigmentation is kind of like the wrinkles of the white people, right? Like that's the chronic sun exposure issue that comes out over time with discoloration and hyperpigmentation of the skin, whether it's just a patch of darker skin or it's you've had some acne and then your acne bumps stay dark and you have these dark spots on your face, or you get some beard flare-ups and
Okay.
your beard bumps stay dark longer.
Right.
You get darker skin around the eye area. So I think the whole black don't crack thing is doing a disservice to the skin of color community because it's perpetuating this myth that people with skin of color don't need sunscreen and don't need to take good care of your skin. And that's just garbage. That's not true.
Right.
You
Right.
need to wear sunscreen. You need to take care of your skin.
Well, now my family, my friends and family run the gamut of all colors, all nationalities, all creeds, everything. So, what can we do for my Caucasian brothers and sisters that want to reduce the lines around their eyes? What remedies? We got to make sure the African American or the chocolate or whatever wherever you identify, we know we need to identify hyperpigmentation and attack that. Beard bumps, dark skins, dark patches. But then what can, my lighter, brighter people do for wrinkles and things like that for their skin?
Sure. Turns out, you know what? Everybody, no matter what color you are, really needs to be doing the same core things for their skin. I break it down into a protecting regimen in the morning and a repairing regimen at night. So in the morning, we protect. We use I call it orange juice for your face. Instead of drinking orange juice for breakfast, put your vitamin C topical antioxidant on. Then you need a hyaluronic acid serum. That's like drinking your water in the morning. You want to make sure you rehydrate after that. So you put your HA on, and then you put your SPF on. 30 is the lowest. You got that right, Patrick?
I got 30, like my age, 30 plus 20. 30 plus 20. We've got a question really quickly from Rebecca. She asked, what brand do you recommend for fine lines around the eyes?
Oh, so I'm Hydrinity all day. Hydrinity has this eye product that is my favorite. It's hyaluronic acid that's going to plump out those little fine lines and wrinkles. It also has a pigment reducing peptide. It decongests the blood vessels under the eye to take care of the purple discoloration. And it helps keep your vessels from leaking fluid. So if you struggle with that puffy under eye situation in the morning, this really helps solve it. And you can use it upper lids, lower lids twice a day. So Hydrinity is, like, in my mind, the only eye product that sits in my bathroom. It's amazing.
Okay. Hydrinity, do you hear this? We need some sponsorships. And next time we go live, maybe we can be wiping Hydrinity on my face and things like that. I think what I need to do is go to the farmer's market and get me some live oranges and then just spread it over my face in the morning.
No, that's not.
Breakfast for my skin so that I can have that J-Lo glow. We've got Lucretia in here. She says
you're not listening. Yeah, no. Don't do that.
She says, water, hydrate. Good question, Rebecca. I need it. All right. So Meg Reggie, okay, looking it up now. All right, Rebecca, make sure you add it in the comments, or maybe somebody can drop it in there. Kirby, drop where we can get the Hydrinity. Or maybe you can go to Dr. Erikson's site. I don't know.
You can get it on my You can get it on my website.
Okay, you better drop the mic. You better drop the mic now. I told you.
That's right. Yeah.
Let's move the conversation a little bit further. I don't know how long we've been on, but I wanted to talk with you today. We wanted to talk about lips. And how do we define, I'm not against plastic surgery, guys. I'm not doing it. I like my Michael Jackson bell pepper nose. It's just fine by me. The only time I would do it is if I, was in an accident or something like that. And who knows, I might change. But at this age, I think I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm making myself available again. But all that being said, what's your thought on the lips? I mean, do I need a little filler? Everybody's doing these lips, so help me understand, how do you decide what's the amount, the proper amount to, if you want a fuller lip, or if you want to do, is anybody slimming their lips down?
Only people who've had filler that was just misplaced, so they're getting it dissolved, are technically thinning their lips down, but that's usually just to pump them back up in a way that looks really natural and juicier. And the lips are definitely having a moment right now. And there's been a shift in the way we want our lips to look. It used to be everybody wanted their upper lip to be about 1/3 and then their bottom lip to be about 2/3. So you had a smaller upper lip and a bigger lower lip. But not in 2025. In 2025, everybody wants an upper lip and a lower lip that are a little bit more balanced as far as proportion goes. And that varies across ethnicities, and it varies between men and women. But, Patrick, I was thinking about your lips. Meg and I were having a little conversation about your lips.
I'm ready for it.
I've got a little visual for you. So, Patrick, this is you and your beautiful smile.
Okay.
Proud. But if you wanted, to come to Atlanta and see me and get your lips maybe 20.
Meg Reggie is a mess. Pull it up.
Look at that.
I'm like, one note. I'm gonna kiss that. Goodbye.
Oh,
Goodbye.
who doesn't want to kiss that? How cute. Kiss it.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
Meg Reggie, you are a mess. I cannot. I needed that laugh. I knew coming back out of no man's land, I was gonna start having fun with social media again. Oh my
Well,
goodness.
I don't know.
AJ,
Just saying.
AJ, do you
Okay,
want to
now.
get your lips done, AJ?
Okay,
Oh
but
my
here's the
friends,
thing.
my friends are a mess. Rebecca says no.
Or we could go further.
Oh, let's see. Man, Reggie, you're derailing the whole conversation. This is supposed to be a very serious conversation, and we're supposed to be
Now,
like, I mean, no, absolutely.
no, but
we, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna reel this conversation back in. I knew you all got. I knew it. Oh my goodness, my friends are just laughing here. Oh goodness, let me hold on. Wait a minute, laughing at you guys. All right, so. We've covered the hyperpigmentation, like I said, but I think the other component that we really want to talk about today is when we first had our initial conversation about, skin and I told you, I said, I always look at situations with, um, when we talk about I don't know this, hell, I'm not going to be politically correct. I promised myself in therapy, I'm done trying to be politically correct. Men can be obese, big stomach, all out of shape, but they still want a woman to be a size 024. And as I talked to you about working with models years and years past and working with supermodels and supermodels only eating popcorn and champagne before photo shoots, and practically starving themselves so they look good, I wanted to understand who created these narratives for, you said it's some old white man to create these narratives about what a woman should look like. But I really want you to educate the people on, where does this all come from? Like, everybody doesn't need to look the same, and everybody doesn't need to be a clone. We need to really be transparent and love the skin that we're in. That's the whole purpose of this communication, was to have pride in our skin and pride in our individual looks, because that's what makes the world look beautiful. So,
yeah.
help me to understand where did these, everybody can't look like Barbie. Everybody can't look like Barbie, and you can elaborate. I don't want to go too far with that, but again.
Yeah, and without without any judgment, because people develop their own ideas of what is beautiful, but are they really their own ideas of what is beautiful, Patrick? I think that the presence of social media is absolutely to blame for this sort of cookie cutter uniform look. I go to an aesthetics conference and I look around and I feel like I'm looking at the same injection pattern on all of these different faces that may not
Okay.
necessarily have looked alike initially, but now they do, because there's this image of the elevated high cheek, the balanced 1-to-1 ratio lips, the hair extensions, the everything to look like Barbie. And we see a lot of that, and I see a lot of it on the professional side from the people who are promoting these procedures, who are creating and who are delivering this image to the
Right.
public. Patients go
Right.
in and they make them look in this certain way. And I think what we're losing with that is authenticity. And we're losing the features that make us beautiful. And we're losing parts of our ethnic heritage that give our
Right.
faces some character and make our faces interesting. And I think that's just, we're losing some of this classic beauty of somebody like Isabella Rossellini or Audrey Hepburn, or I think of, older classic movie stars who were not perfect, whose faces were not symmetric. And now
Right.
we're all promoting this image where everybody really is starting to look the same. And my goal in aesthetics is to get people more away from that. Help you find the features that are beautiful for you and play them up, rather than give you someone else's cheeks or someone else's lips. Make sure that it really fits your face, your personality, your life.
Right. I think that's important to hear because I think so many people are when I think of my style icons as it relates to grace and beauty and just overall aesthetic, I'm always channeling what would I was about to say Dominique Devereaux. What would Diane Carroll do? And
Okay.
what would Teddy Pendergrass look like? And what does that look like? And those two always leveled me out. You know, entering into the room with grace and style and owning the fact of I'm Mance and Jacqueline Cooper's son. I mean, I don't need to be anything beyond that.
Right.
I'm more than enough, and that's the thing that I wanted to be able to celebrate today on the call is that just as you are, just as anybody watching this, you're more than enough. And you know, I mean, now if you want to do a little touch up, hey, no, because I got a few lines here that I might want to let you come and inject, and so I can just always look like I'm in position. But you know that may take some time. But you know, not judging anyone, but I want people to hear in this is that you're okay just as you are.
Yes.
But you know, we don't need clones. We don't need clones. Everybody don't need to look the same. And I'm looking at it like now. I don't. Yeah.
No.
But like AJ said, do whatever makes you happy. If you like it, I love it.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'm very, very open with the fact that I've got some filler in my lips. I have some filler in my cheeks. I get laser. I get Botox. I mean, but I do these things because they make me feel good. And I
Right.
like to play up my features. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm not doing it because I want to look like anybody else. And if I have somebody come in and I feel like they're doing this, they want these injections because they're trying to fit someone else's ideal image of themselves, I'll say no. I've
Hmm.
gone through periods of time where I've said no to injecting people more than I've said yes. And that may not be the best business decision, but it was the best ethical decision for me to stay true to who I am and how I want people to view themselves.
Right. Now that brings me to the next question, and I know we don't have that much time left, but I wanted to ask you, when is the earliest that someone should be looking at injections and doing things like that? Is there a law around that, or you know, or as an adult, or can
No,
a 16-year-old do it?
I would never inject a 16-year-old.
Okay.
No, wouldn't do that. You know, the age has definitely gotten younger. More and more of the 20 somethings are coming in for, especially for lip fillers. I think it's, you know, thanks to Kylie and Chloe and all of them. The younger folks want the lips. And so we're
Okay.
seeing a lot more of this.
Okay.
But I try and make sure that I'm not injecting somebody who doesn't know who they are as a person and what they really want. And that we have a good conversation about what their goals are beforehand.
Right. Okay. Okay. And how do you establish those? Because some of these people still don't know where they're going. I'm figuring it out now. We constantly figured it out. We constantly figured out life, but yeah, that's my point about it. Like doing it because you want to do it, and doing it because you want to enhance your natural beauty, but not doing it because Cardi B looks like this, and I want to look like Cardi B. That's my thing. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you know, I love Joan Rivers, but I don't want to look like Joan Rivers. I mean, I liked her natural punch and jokes and the strength of her as a comedian. But I
Right.
mean, I don't want my eyes pulled back. But you know, there's certain things. So I'm just. And again, you guys, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not judging anything. But maybe I am. And if I am, so be it too, because this is my platform and this is my Instagram. Okay? Now, there you have it. There you have
There
it.
you have it. No, when I walk in to see a cosmetic patient, I don't walk in with a needle in both hands ready to go. I walk
Right.
in and I sit down and I hand them a mirror and we talk. And
Okay.
sometimes all we do is talk. And then
Okay.
we schedule another time to come back. But I want to make sure that what we do is really helping the person feel good about themselves and is for the right reasons.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds like a plan to me. I wanted to, one more thing I wanted to touch on before we conclude. I wanted to talk about, um, you know, we see an uptick of men investing in their vanity or in their looks. And so I wanted to, figure out from your perspective. I know I hate when people say, because you don't know, because you would have asked the question. But the fact of the matter is, what is a regular regimen? Let's say, for instance, and one thing, and I'm rooting this question in the fact that I despise going to the nail salon, and they charge me more because I'm a man to do my pedicure than they do a woman, and my feet are softer than some women. But we're not gonna go there. But the question is, how do you make sure men maintain their masculinity or feel welcome or whatever those misconceptions or stereotypes, because I have, I don't mind investing in my aesthetics. But you have some men that are like, I'm not going to a dermatologist. I'm not, a lot of men don't even want to go get a physical. So much less go to a dermatologist. So how are you communicating, or what would you like men to know from on our perspective?
Well, I just ask everybody the same questions where you're, no matter what gender you affiliate with. I just say, well, what are your skincare goals? What are your concerns? What are you?
Okay.
And then we talk through and we make sure, number one, that everybody's protecting themselves from the sun and staying cancer free and getting checked. But then also we just talk about, well, what do you want to look like 5 years from now? What do you want your skin to be? And that's not a conversation that needs to be limited by gender. And I put pictures of men on our website as patients and our marketing materials. I think it's really important for men to know that they're part of this conversation too. And by the way, the women are looking pretty damn good out there. Y'all better keep up.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to my whole point about men being busted and out of shape and ashy knees and ashy elbows and what I call biscuit heel, when people have that biscuit heel on the back of the corner of the heel and the foot is not moisturized and cracking feet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like the flour on a biscuit. You need to take care of that. Nobody wants to see that at the beach, so
I don't. No.
Yeah, a lot of people need to know. Yeah. And again, if you don't know, you just don't know. And sometimes it is rooted in wanting to be your best, or it might be rooted in vanity. I don't know, but it's rooted in taking care of yourself and taking care of your body. And people don't know this. The skin is the largest organ. Yeah, exactly. AJ says stop. Brandon had a question for me. Brandon, what was your question for me? He said Biscuit Hill is going to be rent free in my head forever.
I probably start putting that in charts. Biscuit Heels.
Yes.
Protocol.
When you do an evaluation of somebody's skin, just go to the feet and on the back left hand side. Cause see, I walk on my left and my right. The back. My mother and I both. And so you have to go get that loofah and get in that bathtub and scrub. Because you don't want to show up at the beach in your Manolo sandals and you got a biscuit heel. You got on $1,000 shoes and you got a biscuit heel. That's just not a good combination.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Well, Patrick, happy Pride. This was a ton of fun. It was amazing.
It has been. We may have to do it again soon.
Yeah, well, I've got some, lips coming your way.
Meg Reggie, please send me that. She didn't want to send it to me. She wanted to surprise me on the call, and I'm definitely surprised. And I think Doctor will end with that because I like my lips just as they are. If I want them, I'll just do them like this a little bit. Mwah.
That's right. Mwah. Mwah. Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Happy Pride, y'all. Bye.
Happy Pride. So there you have it, you guys. Peace.